Hi everyone, happy Friday. My name is Jackie. I am the founder of Kreativ and an artist here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Today I will be taking you step by step through a really awesome drawing. Let me show you. It's this turtle on a rock in a pond with a butterfly flying by. Maybe they're saying hi. So I'm going to take you step by step, but make it your own. Change colors, add anything you can think of. And when you're done, I'd love to see your finished product, so feel free to post your picture in the comments below when we're done. So today I'm going to be using crayons. I have a 16 pack of Crayola crayons. If you have crayons, markers, pencils, anything will be perfect. I also have about 3 sheets of paper. And today in our drawing, we are going to be focusing on adding some layers. We're going to be maybe blending a little bit with our crayons and just kind of playing with different marks and maybe even adding some shadows. And of course, just have fun, make it your own. I can't wait to see your ideas. I love seeing all of your pictures that you've been sharing with me, so thank you so much. And yeah, so make sure you get your crayons out. I have 2 to 3 pieces of paper, anything will do. And let me just put my camera up and we'll get started in just a moment. All right. Perfect. Alrighty. So today we're doing this turtle with our butterfly, and like we've been talking about in our last few times we've colored together, that we want to make sure that we have enough room on our paper for everything that we want to fit on there, right? So including our crayons, I also use my hand or my finger to kind of as a tool to find out where I want to put my my turtle or my butterfly or anything I'm in my drawing, and then I use my crayon to go on. Let's see. So today I'm going to start with the brown crayon. You may choose a different color. We're going to start on our shell. I'm going to do 2 different colors on here, and actually let me just slow down for a moment. And I know we've talked about this before, but the amount of pressure that we put on our crayon and on our paper determines how dark and light our mark is, right? So if I go very light, I have the opportunity to really start building up color. So I have a brown and green shell here with darker outlined in brown, right? So if I go nice and light, then I can switch over to my green and add another light layer in between, which adds a really cool effect of kind of blending my colors and making it a little bit more interesting. So that is one technique we're definitely going to be using. I know we've talked about it, but this time let's really go for it. All right, so I'm going to put this over here. And again, starting with my brown crayon, before I put my crayon down, I'm going to be using my finger, and I'm just going to do like an arch or a rainbow or even a frown, and I'm going to kind of get that placement before I put my crayon down. All right, I think I see it, and slow it down. All right, cool. And then I'm going to make like a smile connecting the bottom of my shell. I like that. And then I'm going to start adding some pattern and detail to my shell. Now on mine, I did a whole bunch of little like squares down here, and I'm going to show you how I went about that. But think about it, maybe do you want flowers instead of just these rectangles? Do you want to have triangles? So get creative with that. Take a moment to think about it. Maybe practice it on your practice sheet, right? But I'm going to start by making another smile, another kind of curved line, just like that. And then I'm going to start breaking up by adding just little lines going down. This is your turtle, so however you like to make them. And then I'm going to start up at the top, and I'm going to add a little, like a U, right? And I'm gonna start building, going down, almost like little bricks. Again, your pattern, you can make it however you like. There are no rights or wrongs. It's just kind of going for it. Do another one. So I'm pushing down pretty hard because I want these lines to really show up. You can have rounded edges, you could have straight lines, straight corners. You can do them really big, you can do just a couple. Like I said, I think it'd be cool to maybe see some flowers. Alright, that looks neat. It almost looks like an igloo. Alright, very good. So from here, why don't we just really lightly, let's try us building this up. So I'm going to really lightly color in. You could do each individual shape that you created, or just kind of go right through all these little guys. And I'm just getting my first layer in. So we're working on building our color, building our interest, and really exploring and playing with our crayons. I can go back in and darken any line I'd like. That looks pretty cool. And let's try adding that second layer. Let's try, I'm going to pick up my dark green and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to focus more on each individual little shape I created, and I'm going light again. If I go nice and light, it's going to really allow it to kind of blend and create this cool. Are you doing like a different color shell? Purple shell? Rainbow? It's just filling it in. So I'm lightly pressing on my crayon, creating a really cool blend of color. Nice. So that is his little home, his little shell. And I'm going to do a light green for my head, my feet, and my tail. Maybe you could do orange or pink or red. So just think about what color you would like to do. My little guy, his head's peeking right on out of his shell, and he's going to be looking up there. So I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want that to go. And I'm going to start right at the corner here. I'm going to go out, and I'm going to give him a little head, and I'm going to bring that back, and go back right on in his shell. Perfect. And now I'm going to add a little tail. And I'm going to add 2 feet. So I'm going to add 1, and I'm going to add another. I'm going to overlap on his little neck right here. And perfect. All right. So to set ourselves up to being able to have a white eye, I am going to use that green crayon, and I'm going to make a circle. And I'm going to, before I color it in or fill it in, I'm going to pick up my red and I'm going to add my mouth in, however you'd like that, because I really want that to pop too, to stand out. And then I can start filling in. So with this one, I'm going to start with the light green, and I'm going to start lightly filling in. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to work with 2 different greens here. So I'm going to do my first layer with my light green, and then I'm going to switch on over to my dark green. Maybe you're creating shadow and then you'd only do it on like the bottom edge. If you want to take it a little step further, I'm just going to add throughout, and I'm going to give him some toes, which are, I'm going to just kind of do like little ovals. 1, 2, 3. I can fit 3 on that one, and I'll do a few over here. Nice. I like that so far. Hope you like yours. And let's see. I think my next step is going to be my rocks. So he's like maybe sunbathing on this rock here, and then there's a few other rocks that maybe he's going to step onto and go back over here onto that grass. I'm going to switch over to my black crayon. On my picture here, I do have a little bit of water showing on the bottom of my rock and all the way around it. So just kind of thinking about the placement of my rock. I want to have some water underneath it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're on the grass. That would be fine too. I'm going to kind of just, again, let's plan using our finger, getting that shape of your rock. There's all different shaped rocks, right? Rocks come in all different shapes, so there are no wrongs with this. And I'm going to go ahead and just make sure that he's standing in it nice and comfortably, not bouncing on the edge, and adding my edge to my rock so I have the shape right there. And on my rock, I have a side and I have the top, right? The bottom is in the water, but to create this so it doesn't look so flat, I like to kind of add a top to it. By just doing that, I created my top and then I created a side. See that? So I'm going to start filling in, and I'm going to go a little bit heavier on the top of my rock. Just saying, you know, maybe this is the shadow that's being cast by my turtle because the sun is right above. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter on my sides. And if you need or would like to add a little bit harder of an edge here and there, feel free. So I'm going to be playing with my rock color as well, because when I see rocks, I see that they're not always just gray. They can have some blue or red or even purple, any color, right? Kind of hints to them. So I'm going to pick up my dark blue. I'm going to be doing my light blue for my water, but I'm going to add a little bit of this darker blue, and I'm just going to let it fill in those holes that were left by my black crayon. And yeah, I like how that looks. It's kind of cool when you do 2 layers because it fills in those white marks. You notice those little white holes that our paper and crayon leave, but when you add 2 different colors, it starts really filling in and becoming more solid, which is really nice. In my drawing, I'm going to have 2 more rocks, and when things are close to us, they look a lot bigger, right? And as they start going away, further away, they are smaller, right? So they get smaller as they go. So to give depth into my picture here, I'm going to add another rock, and then the next rock is going to be even smaller. So small and smaller. I'm going to be using my black crayon again. I'm going to move over a little bit here. I'm just going to kind of say, all right, I want it to be about that length. How's yours? Is yours like a really wild shaped rock, or is it just more of a mound? So that's mine there. Kind of looks like potato, kind of. And I'm going to do another one here. I'm going to make this one have like a little bump on top. Something like that. I like that. Do the same thing. We're going to color it in. Adding our first color. And then I'm going to go in with my blue. This is my dark blue again. You may choose to do a different color, and that is fine. Nice. All right. So I have my 3 rocks all set, and now I'm going to, let's put them in the water, right? So I'm going to grab my light blue, and I'm going to start giving my water's edge. So I'm going to go up here because I want my rocks all to be in my water. And I'm just going to come on down here. I'm going to go pretend I'm going right through my little turtle and right there. Perfect. So my turtle, I have a little bit of water that you can see underneath his shell here. So I'm going to make sure I fill that in. I'm going to do a nice medium pressure, I am going to add the other blue as well. I do want this to be nice and bright. So I'm going in. Think about the direction of your crayon, how you're filling that in. Anyone have any good snacks today? I don't know what I want to make. All right, cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick back up my dark crayon and let's kind of play with the idea of the water's moving, right? And when it hits a rock, there's going to be some movement in the water, right? And there's also maybe to be some shadow being cast from my rock, from my grass. So I have my darker blue crayon in my hand, and I'm just going to give few marks. Doesn't have to be solid. Don't overthink it. But I'm just adding a little bit of shadow or a little bit of like disturbance, like movement in my water right there. And I'm going to do it on this one too. Uh-oh. Oh boy. That's okay. Still works. And I'm going to add some over here. And I might go back in later. Once I add my grass, I can totally add some more of that, that shadow. Andy, I hope you have your crayons out. You guys are doing great. All right, cool. So I have my water looking pretty good. I like it so far. I mean, if you want to take it a step further and maybe see like if adding a little bit of green to your water might be interesting, or if you want to lightly add that dark blue, even like a very, very light amount of pressure. Just play with it, right? And let's see. Let's go ahead and move up to our next. This is going to be kind of like our way background. So this is our foreground, middle ground, and then our clouds and stuff are our background, right? But I'm going to start working on my land. So my land, I'm going to start with my dark green. Just see. And I'm going to create my land. And this can be like, you can have like a slight hill, it could be pretty flat, it could be however you'd like it to be. Again, use your finger before you put your crayon down. I'm going to start by adding a light pressure. It's kind of cool though, right? The amount of pressure you put on your crayon, it changes things. I like that. So I'm just going in, adding. And now to kind of define, to kind of say, okay, I have my water and then I have my my land. There's probably gonna be like a little bit of a beach, you know what I mean? So when my turtle comes out there, he might want to step on the beach first and then go on to the grass. So I'm gonna pick up my brown and I'm going to, right at that water's edge, I'm just gonna go on in and just add a little bit of the brown. And if you notice, actually that kind of does something cool. It kind of sets this down so it's like not sticking up, it's like it's back there. I kind of like that. Cool. And I am going to go back in, adding another layer, you got it, with my light green, filling in all those little holes that were created by that dark green first layer. If you are losing any of that, like the turtleneck, you can give it like a little bit of a darker outline right by that part there. And I'm going to go ahead, and if you're like, oh, I'm losing my tail too, just give it an outline. There it is. Very cool. Nice. Let's go ahead. I need an eyeball here. So I'm going to add just a little black dot, and he's looking up, so I have that dot way up top of his eye, right in that white spot that we left. Perfect. And I think it's a great time to focus on our butterfly. Now you could do like a monarch, going to do that. Remember, those are orange and black, but I would do all of your orange first and then after do your black detail. If you painted with me, we always usually leave our black details last. So if you're choosing to do something with black outline, just get your color in first and then go ahead in with your black. But I'm going to play with some purple, and I'm going to do this transition, from purple to pink to orange to yellow. So kind of think about how you'd like to go about doing your butterfly, or if you'd like to do a butterfly, or if you have another idea in mind. I can't wait to see. So I'm going to pick up my purple. My purple broke earlier. Still works, but so I have this little guy right now. So I want my turtle to be looking right up at my my butterfly, so I want to make sure I'm in a good spot where I want it to be enough room for my wings. And I'm going to start by adding this elongated oval, or almost like a hot dog, right? And he's on an angle. I'm just going to turn my paper a little bit like this for me for 1 second, and I'm going to keep him pretty so sorry. So I have my little oval hot dog right there, ready to go. And I'm going to start adding my wings. I'm going to add, I'm going to move down from the top of it just a little bit. I know you know how to make these. And I'm going to make 1, and I'm going to make 2. I can also see the other side of one of my wings, so I'm just going to add another one right there. And I push down pretty hard so I can really see those lines. But like I said, if you want to add a different color or change it, feel free. Now, to fill in mine, what I did here, I started with the purple, and I'm going to start filling in. And I'm going to allow these little kind of jagged edges, right, to happen. So I'm just kind of drawing into my wing. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. And I'm going to even do this little guy up here. Alright, cool. My next color, I'm going to do this violet red, or red violet. And I'm keeping in mind, you know, I want to add a few more colors. So how big are these kind of like stripes of color, right? And if you're like, I just love this color, you can make it as big as you'd like. It's kind of fun. I'm going to switch on over to a really beautiful dark orange. It's red orange. I'm going to push down a little hard. Cool. Same thing over here. And I still have some room on this little guy here. And my last color that I'm going to use today is going to be my yellow, or on my butterfly at least. Butterfly. Cool. All right. And on my on the body of my butterfly, I am going to add some eyes and a mouth if you choose not to. You don't have to. But I'm going to use the purple, and I'm just going to make 2 circles, some big eyes, and I'm going to use a red to create the smile. I'm going to switch back to my purple, and I'm going to give him some antennas. Mine are going to have these kind of swirls on them. So I'm going to add looking before, planning it out with my finger first. Nice. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in, trying not to fill in those eyeballs. Nice. And now that I have those eyes created, I'm going to use just black and get those eyeballs right in. Cool. All right. So let's go back down to our water real quick. If you'd like to, maybe on this part of the land, maybe there's some flowers, and I just made actually some little marks because they're so far away that maybe I don't see the petals, or maybe you do. I mean, I can see some, like a beautiful flower that if you want to add one there, but I'm just going to add some little colored dots. These are just some flowers that are off in the distance. And I'm going to go back with my dark green, and I'm going to make some grass that's growing from my water. And I start at the base, so at the bottom, and I'm going to look where I'm going and draw up. Play with the size, so closer to down here in our paper, this is close to us, right? So the pieces of grass are going to be longer. When I go back here, those pieces are shorter, right? Because it's further away, so they look smaller. So I'm just adding a few pieces. A few smaller ones up here. I have a long guy right here. Look at these. So I'm going to stay down. These are very close to us. And maybe a few right here. Now, just like we did underneath our rocks, I'm going to pick back up my dark blue little crayon here, and I'm going to just add a little bit right at the base of those pieces of grass. Don't overthink it. I'm just kind of scribbling a little, which is kind of fun. Adding my shadow and kind of that where the water would be kind of like moving a little bit because it's hitting that grass, right? Cool. And what else do we have to do? I think let's go up to our sky. Now, we've talked about our clouds before, and I'll just kind of show you one more time, or show you again today, of a little way that I like to make my clouds. Clouds are always changing. They're always different. So there are no wrongs to making a cloud. So I'd love to see how you go about it, but a quick little easy way to go about it is to think about how long you want your cloud to be is the first. So I'm going to think about how big I want my cloud to be. And I'm going to use a very light hand when I'm going to be doing it on my regular painting or drawing. But for now, I'm just going to kind of, just so you can see. But I'm going to say, all right, I want my cloud to be about that long. And think about stepping down stairs, right? You start at the top and then you step down, down, down until you're on the ground. So we're going to create our first step on our cloud, which is going to be a bump, like a curve, like a rainbow, right? And I can decide where I want that center one to be, wherever I want it. I'm going to start this one kind of in the middle. So this is my highest stair. Now I'm going to go down this way. I'm going to make another one. It's my second stair. And keeping in mind how long this cloud is, right? One. I can do one more. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, maybe a little one right there. And I always can kind of, if I do it nice and light, I can kind of round out that bottom. Isn't that cool? I love doing that. So, and you always can add a little bit of shadow. If you notice that clouds aren't always just pure white, they have some shadowing in them, which is really neat. But that is a quick way to make your cloud. So think about how big you want it. Think about your going downstairs, right? Think about your highest stair and how you would step down on both sides. Okay, so I am going to switch on over to my drawing, and I'm going to put a cloud right here, I think. So I'm going to lightly just kind of show how long I want that cloud to be, and I'm going to add my highest step, curve, down, down. Now I'm at the end of my cloud, so I'm going to go on to the other side. 1, 2, 3. And now that I have this nice and light down here, I can kind of give that a little bit of a curve underneath. Awesome, I love it. All right, I'm going to do a couple more clouds here and there. I think let's go back up here. How's that? So I'm going to do the length of my cloud. I'm going to do the top step. And I'm going to bump down, do those stairs just like we talked about. Or do you have another idea? Another way to make your clouds? And do I make one here or one here? I think I'm going to make one over here. All right. So I'm going to go off a little bit on my paper, and I'm going to add just like that. Awesome. Very good. Cool. All right. So I'm going to next add my sun. This time I decided to make like a full sun in the sky, not like half sun, but maybe you'd like to do a half, or whatever you would like to add for your sun. Feel free. I'm going to pick up my yellow crayon. I'm going to kind of picture where I want it, and I think right here looks good. And I'm just going to start by wiggling out. So I put my crayon down, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle, slowing it down until I get a nice round sun. Or you can just draw a circle, whatever. It's kind of wiggling is kind of fun, so that's why I chose to do that. Do you want to add any orange to your sun? Do you want to add any beams of light coming off your sun? Feel free to do that. I can't wait to see. Does your son have sunglasses on? I would love to see that. But my last step is going to be adding my color into my sky. So I'm going to start with my dark blue. I'm going to keep my my crayon going back and forth, and I'm going to use kind of a light hand, so not too much pressure. And I'm just going to start filling in when I'm getting close to my sun, close to my anything that's on my drawing, right? I want to slow down so I have a little bit more control so I don't color right on top of it. I am going to color over these antennas because they're dark enough that they can just kind of hold on and stay there. So think about the way you're using your crayon. Are you going in all different directions? Are you staying in one flat way? Are you doing more of like a circular way to use your brush? Or not brush, oh my goodness. But if, and I'm also kind of using the side. So I'm not using the tip anymore, I'm using my side. Right? Nice. So at this time, while we're finishing up, think about what else do you want to add? Do you want to add any birds, flowers? Do you want to, I would love to see maybe like a little frog eyes poking out of my water. That'd be kind of fun. Do you want to write the name of your turtle? Have you named your turtle or your butterfly? Do you want to write your name on your picture? And while you're finishing up, take your time. But if you have any ideas on if you want to maybe try colored pencils, or if you want to, if you have something in mind that you would like to color or create with me, I would love to. So just let me know in the comments below. And when you're done, take a picture and again, post it right below in the comments. But just take your time, finish all those little details. Write your name or the name of your friends right on your paper, and you did an absolutely wonderful job today. Thank you so much for coloring with me. I had so much fun and you made my day. So I hope to color with you again soon, and have a good one.